Alright guys, so this is my 2008 CBR 600RR. This is a cold start with the stock exhaust. As you can see, stock exhaust fender eliminator. Like I said earlier, we're going to be replacing this with the Toce exhaust and an integrated tail light, as well as a new fender eliminator. So we're going to get rid of all this stuff here, as well as this piece here, and gonna bring in a new piece right here. We're gonna lower it down so we can get a nice clean look there. So here we go with that stock exhaust start. Again, this is a cold start. The stock 2008 CBR 600RR stock exhaust is warmed up, so we're going to give it a little bit of a rev here. Okay, so that is again the stock exhaust for a 2008 CBR 600RR. So while we're waiting on the bike to cool down, I'm going to explain what we're going to be doing today. This is going to be a tutorial on how to install this Toce T/slip-on exhaust with a mid-pipe. I picked it up from TST Industries. They're a very good company to deal with. Very friendly, has great customer service. I'll have a link for them in the description. So just a little disclaimer here before we get too in-depth into this. I have some mechanical background, but I am by far a professional, I guess, when it comes to motorcycles. So I just want to throw that out there. It's going to be a learning experience for me, so it shouldn't be too hard, but it's kind of like a bolt-on kind of thing from what I can see. But I've never worked on a motorcycle, so we'll see how that goes. This video is going to be kind of long because I'm going to be adding a bunch of different things to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to record it all in one straight video, but I'm going to break the video up into a few different videos for you guys, so you don't have to sit through a long strenuous video. And I'll break it up into different parts, into different videos, and post them onto the channel so that you guys can watch all of them at different times, so you don't have to sit through the whole thing. Because this process, like I said, I don't know how long it's going to take, so I don't want you guys to have to sit through like an hour-long video or whatever long it's going to take me to do this. So I'm going to just break it down into multiple videos. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and break down what you get with your Toce exhaust. You get the end piece with the baffles. As you can see, come on, focus for me. You can see in there in the pipe there, the little white screen there. That's the baffles, that's what makes the sound. It's powder coated black. Comes with the drop down hangers here. There is some brackets that come in here in this packet. I'll open that up in just a minute so that you guys can see that, what comes in the hardware packet. But this is what makes all the sound. This is what's going to be seen from the back of the bike. This here is your mid pipe. This is what connects to your headers. I went with stainless steel base metal because I didn't see a point in spending $50 extra for the powder coating when I'm going to be doing powder coating myself later on, which that'll be another video. Once I get the rest of my powder coating equipment, I'll be taking this mid pipe back off and powder coating it myself along with some of the other stuff. And again, that's going to be for another video because I'm going to be doing multiple things for this bike when it comes to powder coating. But you can also get this mid pipe here powder coated black to match the Toce exhaust. I think it was like $50 US more, but again, I didn't do that because I'm going to be doing it myself anyways. And we're back. Okay, so I went ahead and tore into the hardware packet. It comes in just this plastic here. It comes into 2 packets. And the reason being is because you can actually order this separate. This is actually a drop-down exhaust drop-down kit that TST Industry sells, and you can actually use this for exhaust, stock exhaust, so that you can lower it in case you want to put an integrated taillight into your stock bike with a stock exhaust. So this is in its own separate little packaging inside the hardware kit that I got, but it comes with a TST Industries Toce exhaust because you know you're gonna want to lower this so that the heat doesn't get to your integrated taillight, which is what we're putting on this bike here. Okay, so here is your exhaust clamp, which is what's going to be held on to the what's going to hold the mid pipe onto the header. Sorry, and then these springs here are your exhaust springs, which hook into this piece right here, and they hold on your end piece onto the other side of your mid pipe. Okay, so again, that's everything that you are going to need for, if we can get you to focus, come on, focus. There we go, that's a little better. That's everything that you get when you order a mid pipe, or should I say a Toce exhaust from TST Industries, and that's what you get as a kit. You can order this as an individual kit, or you can order this in what's called a hyper pack, which comes with multiple things. It comes with integrated taillight, turn signals, fender eliminator kit, and things like that. So they have multiple options. They don't make things just for Honda, they make things for Yamaha and all kinds of things like that. Again, I will link them in the description so you guys can go check them out. They're an amazing company. They're very, very customer friendly. They answer your questions very fast. I had some questions about the products and they answered my emails very quickly, and were very professional and very friendly. I want to say this off the get-go, or I should have said this from the beginning. I am not sponsored by them at all. This is not a sponsored video for TST Industries, but they are a great company, so I think their name should be tossed out there a little bit more, so their name can get shared a little bit more. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and link their name down in the description. Again, this is the TST T/slash exhaust for the 2007 to 2012 Honda CBR 600RR. Alright guys, we are back after a short intermission. The bike has finally cooled off after we did the sound of the stock exhaust. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and drop this stock exhaust, and we're going to start putting on the new Toce exhaust. We have it sitting over there on the table. So what we're going to start off by doing is we're going to have to take off this seat and the passenger seat so that we can get to the rear cowl, because we're going to have to take the rear cowl off to get to some bolts that hold on the fender, the rear fender for the license plate and the lights. And then there's a few bolts up under here, and then we're going to have to come down and drop off the passenger pegs and the heat shield that's behind this piece, so we're gonna have to pull this piece off. And then we're not gonna have to completely take off the rear set here, but we are gonna just remove the mounting bolts and just move it out of the way so that we can have ease of access, so that we can get that heat shield out of there a little bit easier, so that we can get to the hangers and things like that. Just, you know, it's more of an ease of access to make things go a little bit smoother. So I'm gonna go ahead and set you guys down, and we're gonna go ahead and get this thing started. Alright, so some of the tools that we're going to need are 2 Allen keys. You're going to need, for this specific bike, the Honda CBR, I found that the 5mm Allen key and the 8mm Allen keys are what you're gonna need to remove all the hardware to get to where we're gonna need to be. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and get this rear seat off. If you got a rear cowl, same thing, I believe. You just put your key in there and it should just pop right off. Alright, for this part here, this is the rear cowl we're going to take off right here. Get you to focus, come on. Okay, so as you can see, there's 4 bolts here, 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 and here. You take those off, and then that should be all the bolts that you need to get the cowl off. Okay, so now we have the seat off. Now what we're gonna do is get this rear cowl off. Is just kind of spread this plastic apart, and there you go, you've got your cowl off. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start to drop this fender off. So what it looks like is there's 2 bolts, one here and one here, and it appears like there is 2 more that match it on the opposite side over here. So we're going to go ahead and remove this and this. Okay, so now we've got the fender hanging down here. We've got this rubber boot here, and what this is this rubber boot is actually a protector for your electrical components for the actual, oh my goodness, we don't want that. Put that back up there. Okay. Stay. All right. Like I was saying, these 3 clips here, so orange one, a blue one, and a white one, these are all the plugs for your light, or for your tail light and your turn signals, and your integrated license plate light for the stock fender. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pop these off, and we're going to be able to reuse these when we go to put the new integrated tail light on that we purchased from TST Industries. So I'm not gonna do that just yet, but I do have to unplug it so that we can get all this out of the way so we can get the new exhaust on. I just wanted to show that to you now, and when we go to put the new tail light on, I'll show you again. So I just wanted to show it to you now so that you didn't get kind of confused on what was going on. So alright, we're gonna go ahead and get you guys set back up, and we're gonna continue on with the exhaust. Okay, so we've got this unplugged, or not unplugged, I'm sorry, but we've got this fender eliminator off. We're gonna go ahead and get it unplugged over here on the back side like I just showed you. And that way we can start working on dropping the exhaust down and getting this first part of the heat shield down. I know you guys can't see what I'm doing over here, but it's just a quick, simple, you unplug them and then it comes off. And then there you go. The old fender is off. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna start working on dropping the actual old muffler pipe down, and that way we can get this part of the first part of the heat shield off, and then work on getting the rest of this out of the way so we can get the secondary heat shield out of the way. So on the top here, you have two mounting bolts that hold the exhaust muffler up, which is this piece here. There's one here and then there's another one on the other side, is what it looks like. I don't see any other bolts over here. Yeah, that's what it looks like, holds it in. And then there's another bolt that goes straight down, that's an Allen key. And that is what it looks like holds the heat shield in place. So we're gonna go ahead and take these two bolts off first, and then we'll drop the Allen key off, and that should drop everything down for us. Videos, you reuse those bolts for hangers and things like that. It's kind of like a universal thing. Okay, so we've got that dropped down. We've got the heat shield off. So now, I think we are ready to start dropping all of this stuff off so that we can pull everything down. Okay, so what we're going to want to do is start working from our outside in. That seems to make life a lot easier. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to remove this rear peg on this side. And the reason why we're doing this is we're removing this rear peg so that we can, again, have ease of access to the heat shield that's behind it and be able to pull that old heat shield out. We're going to reuse that heat shield. It's just for safety precautions for your passenger and yourself. You don't want your leg rubbing against that hot mid pipe that's going to be in there, because that will that'll give you a serious burn. Now, one note that I will give you that I can see already on this rear passenger peg, there is a hook that you have to be very careful for. This hook right here is actually hooked onto the back of your brake reservoir, so be careful and don't pull straight back, because you might pull the brake line or the brake hose off of your reservoir and leak brake fluid everywhere, and then get air into your system, and you'll have to bleed your brake system to get all the air out of the system. So just be mindful of that when you're taking off your rear passenger peg. Alright, now we're going to move on to the rear set. Again, you don't want to completely remove it, you don't want to completely detach it. You just want to remove the mounting bolts to just make it movable so that you can maneuver it out of the way so you can have access to this heat shield here. So we'll see. We're gonna leave it loose right there, so that we can at least have that maneuverability. I don't want to pull on too much because it is plastic, I don't want to break it. But it is at least maneuverable so we can work around it. Alright, so we've got our rear set where it's maneuverable so we can get it out of the way. So now what we're going to do is this main heat shield here, we're going to go ahead and remove it with the last bolt. I think is going to be right here, just beside your brake reservoir. It's not going to be the mounting bolt that holds your brake reservoir on. There's going to be another bolt right here, just to the right of it. And you're just going to remove that bolt there. And that looks like that is going to be your last bolt that holds that heat shield on. And then once you get this one loose, your heat shield should be completely dismounted, I believe, from your motorcycle. And you'll be able to pull it out of there. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, here's what I did. There's one bolt here that holds this plastic on, this bottom plastic piece on. So what I did is I just pulled the one bolt out and it caused the plastic to flex just enough. You don't want to pull on it too much and cause it to break, but it did flex enough to where I could put a bend in it to where the heat shield would come out. But what we're gonna need to do now is there is a bolt inside there. We're gonna remove that piece. There's another bolt that is just behind this heat shield here. It looks like I can kind of feel it right now. Let me see if I can bring you guys around to where you can see it. This guy right here. We're gonna remove him. And then I think that will be our last two bolts that hold on our exhaust, and we can drop it down to get this heat shield here off, and then pull the exhaust down and work on that clamp down there behind the rear set to get the old exhaust off. So I'm going to set you guys back up so you guys can watch, and let's get to it. Alright guys, so we've got the rear, or the bottom clamp off. We've got to drop down so that these notches that are cut into the mid pipe can expand. That way it'll be easier when we go to pull the exhaust off. So what I did is I went ahead and, if you remember earlier, we put these bolts back in so we could hold the heat shield in, because what I'm running into is my battery died, so I didn't know, but I fought with the exhaust a little bit and it's not dropping down. So what I did is I put those bolts in there just hand tight to hold the heat shield in, to hold it in place, to see if I can get it to separate the heat shield from the exhaust. And all I'm going to do is just try to pull down to get the hanger brackets on the exhaust to actually drop down away from the heat shield. That way, once we get the exhaust separated from the heat shield, we can just pull the exhaust out and then pull the old heat shield out. And then that's when we'll be able to start putting in the new exhaust. So, alright, so I've already got these two front ones kind of finagled a little loose. It's just the back one right here behind the reservoir that's kind of giving me a problem. So I've just kind of been working on walking the hangers down. Alright, there we go. Alright, so now you see the exhaust is excuse me, is drop down. So I should, in theory, just be able to, there we go. And there you have it. This is the stock exhaust from a 2008 CBR 600RR. It comes as one piece, and you'll have the muffler in the mid pipe here. So we're gonna set this aside.